Hi, my name is Rockline from Right Creek, a project where we collect stories related to how human rights intersect with people's daily life. Today we have here Sandra and Jacqueline, who are our guests for the day. Sandra, how are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. And Jacqueline, how are you also doing?
I'm doing great as well, thank you.
Great to have you both. They are both Ghanaians who are living in Italy at the moment. And I would like to know, what are the things that you do? What are your main activities here in Italy? I'll start with Jacqueline.
Oh, okay. So I am a student of University of Padua. I'm studying local development, and yeah, that is what I'm currently doing.
And Sandra?
I'm a student of University of Bologna, and I'm studying legal studies. So that is what I'm doing now.
Okay, that's great. So at the moment you are in Bologna and Jacqueline is in Padua. Okay, we would like to know, what are the main issues facing your community in general?
I will talk about Italy in general because Bologna is not where I really stay. I'm just there for school, so I don't really know the problems facing the community in general because I just go to school there. But
Okay.
I would say probably in Verona, where I live, I can say the main problem that probably as the Black people are facing, I don't know for the white people because I'm not in the white community and white society to know what their problems may be. But from the Black person's perspective, what I can say is that the main problem we have as, let's say, the Black community is unemployment.
And Jacqueline, can you tell us some main issues facing the community where you live in?
Oh, okay. As well as Sandra, I would also conclude that I live currently in Padua, but I'm not very well known of the area. But I would say in general, I would say that the major issue of the Black community in Italy, as well as integration, aside unemployment, is how to get well integrated into the society. Like when you first move here, even though integration is not very smoothly, I would say, because every culture is different. For instance, I would say that if you come to the Ghanaian community, especially in my tribe, in my culture, when you move new to a place, where you go to, the people welcome you. So we say something like akwaba, means I give you akwaba before you tell me mekwanso, which means that this is where I'm coming from. But I noticed that here in Italy, that is different. When you come here, the people are not to welcome you. You have to find a way to integrate yourself into the society. So I'll say that this is one of the big differences that Black people, or I would say the Ghanaian community, face when they come here, because they are kind of expecting people to give them the akwaba before they integrate. Meanwhile, here it's done in the opposite way. And you try to find a way to integrate yourself with the people.
Okay. So Jacqueline, do you see progress in human rights, protecting human rights in Italy? Do you see progress in the protection? Do you see some cases whereby human rights issues are violated in the country? If you could give some examples whereby you feel that human rights are protected in the country and issues whereby some human rights issues are violated.
Well, personally, I won't say that I've experienced any violation of human rights, or maybe even a first-hand experience. I haven't experienced anything of such, but I think that there are still certain things that could be done. In generally, I'll talk from a perspective from the whole world, I would say, not maybe necessarily only Italy. I think that there's still a role to play for women, especially because probably we don't have equal accessibility or equal opportunities. And just that, I'll say that generally focusing on women, especially Black women, I'll say that our rights are not like being lifted to the maximum compared to other societies or communities. So okay. Yeah, I'll say that generally this is my opinion.
Okay. And Sandra, what is your opinion about human rights being violated in the country you are in, or you can talk about your community as well?
I would say the human rights that is really violated in, let's say, Italy or generally, I think it's about discrimination. Because what I know is that it doesn't matter your age. I don't know the exact article or what particular human rights against discrimination. I can't pinpoint, but I know there's a human rights code that is against discrimination, no matter your race, your color, no matter who you are, even your nationality, you're not supposed to be discriminated. But now, even though it is not done like maybe direct discrimination, indirectly, people are discriminated against. Maybe, let's say, for instance, you go and look for a job, you are really qualified for this job, and they would find different ways to tell you, oh, they wouldn't accept you or they wouldn't take you for this particular position. But you know deep down, it's because they are discriminating against you in certain ways that they wouldn't say it directly for you to know, but they are doing it. So I think the main one, I think, is an issue that is not only, like Jacqueline said, just this, just in Italy, but generally the whole world. I think everybody is facing discrimination indirectly, even if it is not a direct discrimination against.
Okay. Have you ever felt deprived of your rights, Sandra? And if so, when was it?
No, I can't really pinpoint where exactly I've been discriminated against or like where I've been deprived my rights to something. But for now, I can't tell.
Okay, and Jacqueline?
Well, also personally, I don't recall any situation, but I think that what also is interesting is how well do I even know my rights? So in case I've been deprived of it, I'm not sure if I know exactly what the extent of my right is. So I can't say, probably I have been deprived, but maybe I'm just walking in a way just not to step on anyone's toes, because to me, I know that I'm an immigrant and I know that I don't exert the entire privileges as someone next to me who is not an immigrant. So if there's a set of rights that I'm even being deprived of, I'll generally say that I probably have no idea of it.
Yeah, that's an interesting answer, because there are many cases whereby we have rights to a certain point, but because we do not know exactly what our rights are, so sometimes even if when we are violated against our rights, we do not know that we are violated. And that's a great point that you made. Jacqueline, another question to you. What is the biggest challenge you face right now?
Well, right now, I'll say that my biggest challenge is kind of linked to integration again, because I'll say that my biggest challenge personally right now is trying to speak Italian as best as I could. And the problem is because I'm not well integrated into the Italian society, and I'm kind of always sort of mixed up with the same people who are familiar to me, I end up speaking English, I end up speaking my local dialect. And sometimes it might seem like you are unwilling to learn, but that is not the problem. I won't say that this is a sort of an excuse, but I think that if I was well integrated into the Italian society, probably I would be speaking better. So this is my current challenge.
Yeah, right. And Sandra, what
okay, like Jacqueline said, it's also a language barrier. I would say that's my biggest challenge also. And another one is like opportunities, like the challenges with opportunities, like getting the opportunity to, let's say, for example, work in certain places. I feel that is a very big challenge for us because probably of our color, and I don't know, but it's a challenge to access, like, let's say, employment opportunities as a Black person in Italy.
Okay. So in general, you say opportunities for the Blacks are limited.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Okay. Yeah. Sandra, this is the last question to you. What is the hardest thing you did, or what is the hardest thing you have overcome?
Okay, the hardest thing I have done is to work as a menial job, like worker as a graduate. That's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, because where I'm coming from as a graduate, you're supposed to be working in like an office, a white collar job, a blue collar job. But here I had the challenge, or the hardest thing I had to do was to come down to work as a menial job worker. That was the hardest thing I ever did.
Okay. And Jacqueline?
Well, I'm not so sure if I've done something extremely hard, but I'll say that so far the hardest or what is difficult for me is probably going to be during my education after a break of not being sure if I would gain employment. Because when I finished with my bachelor's, I took a break of about, I think, a year and some months. And then you keep on hearing voices or hearing from people that you're going to end up this education or you're going to finish it, and then it's difficult to find employment regardless. So I think the decision on going back to school to do my master's, it was quite it was not an entirely easy decision to make, even though I knew deep down that I wanted to further it. But there's also this part of you thinking that what you're going to study, are you going to find employment? Because sometimes there's this kind of unbalance between what I really want to study versus what employment opportunity I get after studying. So I think that the difficult decision I took is going for my passion, regardless of what the opportunity outside looks like after. I decided that as long as I long for it, as long as I'm passionate about it, and as long as that I know that this is a problem that I want to solve, the hardest thing was actually going for it, even though I knew that this is what I wanted.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your answers. Sandra is my friend and Jacqline is my sister. They've been living here in Italy for almost 7 years, even right? Yeah, so thank you so much for answering our invitation, and we are so glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having us as well.
All right. So I'll leave you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.